Welcome back. How'd the first week go? I hope it went great. Here we are, December 31st, New Year's Eve. This is the final day of the first week of class. You do have a few days off to celebrate and enjoy, and we're back on January 4th. But let's cover off on some topics and make sure you got what you needed to get this week. Let's go through the chapters a little bit and see what you learned. So chapter number 1, overall, the role of marketing, value. That's the core. The core of marketing at the end of the day is what value are you providing back to the consumers? At the same point, you need to look at what is behind all marketing. Data. Data drives decisions, data drives strategy, data drives goals, experiences, etc. So please keep that in mind. Chapter 2, you went over strategies. How do you approach something when you're a brand? How does Nesquik approach their target audience? How do they reinvent themselves over the years? Or consider Google and all the evolution. When Google changed the fonts and the formatting, were consumers okay with it? What is Google working on? How are they expanding beyond an initial search engine to the brand that they are today? So considering that, looking at a SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. How do brands such as Tide work through that? Tide is a product from Procter & Gamble. Tide has a lot of competition. What's the strengths of Tide? Obviously, it's long history and brand. Opportunities for other line extensions, Tide Pods, other things such that are used in washing machines and other components. Even Amazon now has a dash button which you can reorder Tide with. Tide is definitely looking in terms of evolution. But what can also occur? Threats. When the economy is down, will consumers still continue to purchase a product like Tide when it is a little bit pricier than normal detergents? And looking overall at weaknesses, what will weaken this brand? What will occur in the future? Considering all that and always having that brand in mind that you can coordinate and really relate the brand to and align these marketing strategies with. Then we look at overall mix. What's the right mix for a marketing plan? Does it always have to be print? Can it be digital? Can it be gaming? Can it be augmented reality? Can it be events, experiences? What's the consumer? Who's the profile? Who are we trying to reach and who are we trying to build a relationship with? That's the overall process of a strategic marketing plan. Then as you moved into chapter 3, you learned more about frameworks. The 4 E's of frameworks, right? Exciting the consumer, educating them, giving them experiences, and most importantly, engaging them. Remember, as a marketer and as a brand manager, you are building relationships. And if you look at your own personal relationships, long-term relationships, you invest a lot in those relationships. Marketers want to do the same. Also covered up in chapter 3, social media. Social media, mobile, and all these components will thread throughout this whole 3-week semester. Social media is critical. Why? In terms of where it is and how consumers are on platforms, social media impacts everything. From brand positioning, social brands can thrive or they can dive depending on what occurs. You've seen so many brands in the marketplace that have done some wonderful things, some brands that haven't been as transparent. If you consider Toyota and the brake issue, they could have been more transparent and might not have had the viral issue and the viralness that went across all channels and really impacted the Toyota brand. Or recently, Back to the Future and Pepsi Perfect. Pepsi Perfect was a great opportunity for them to really go back into the market and take advantage and maximize the date of the Back to the Future return. It failed. They let a lot of consumers down. So considering that as well in terms of social media and how consumers will take to social media to really discuss a brand and be very transparent, and they're expecting marketers and brands to be just as transparent. Moving on now to chapter 4, one of the key aspects, ethics, morals, integrity. Does your brand that you're aligned with have that? How about your personal brand? Is that there as well? Considering that, considering values, how does ethics play into your marketing plans? Do you look at things? What's the core of a brand, their mission statement? Do they stay true to that core? Understanding how ethics impact shareholders and other key points. Those are the key aspects you should have gotten out of that chapter, chapter 4. And then chapter 5, the overall marketing environment, macro, micro, all the different impacts and the effects from everyone in your internal organization and structure, to the culture, to the demographics, to competition. Everything should be analyzed. That's your environment, macro as well as micro. And of course, looking at cohorts throughout the years and how different segments work through, and also social trends and the world that we know and changed. This is just a little recap of the first week. Every week you will have an opening video covering off on what you can expect, and an ending video for the week discussing exactly the learnings and outcomes you should have come across. Once again, if you have any questions, email is the best way, but we will also have chat room, which we can open up at any time. We just need to coordinate a schedule with you all. Please make sure you read the syllabus. Have a great New Year's, and we'll see you January 4th.